Hello everybody, how are you doing today? Oh, I gotta stop this because I wasn't thinking when I started this, I'm gonna get a copyright strike on that, or for playing Star Wars music. I was in the middle of doing something, so I couldn't hop on right away, but I'm gonna try and use my camera on the computer, not use my webcam, because that uses too much power and it messes everything up. So we're gonna see how that goes, but we're gonna wait another minute, and I'm gonna hit that on then. I don't know where everybody is. You know, we've Rural Farm Boy doesn't come on anymore because it's too late for him. So he catches the replay, and then him and I do something. We try and get him during the day. If I'm doing a holocron house like we did today, but the link's on there if anybody wants to hop in. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm hoping. Yeah, my regular computer is still in the shop. They just told me the other day it's going to be at least 11 more days for them to fix it. They just got the parts, and I was like, "You guys have had it for a month. How is it going to be 11 more days?" And the lady on the phone told me that, well, the part they have to fix is going to take 11 days to install. I was like, "There's no computer part in the world that takes 11 days to install." I was like, I want to talk to someone actually from Geek Squad, not the Geek Squad corporate office that looks at something on a computer and tells you what they read. She's like, well, the problem was this. And I was like, I know what the problem is. I plugged into a computer. And so, they promised somebody would call me, don't call me, so I called back. And then they promised somebody would call me, then no one called me. Then today somebody called me. And I was like, all right, great. I've been waiting to hear from you guys. And he's like, oh, well, no, we're calling you. I'm from the store. I'm calling to let you know that we can't get a hold of anybody. They won't answer us and call us back. So there's nothing I can do. I can't tell you what's wrong. What's going on with the computer. So I was like, oh, that's great. But all right, so I got a new headset, and I'm trying to figure out how far I can go with it, just because I'm in the kitchen now. But my old microphone would pick up all the sound. Like if there's something going on outside, it would pick that up. This one is more of a directional one. So I'm really just trying to figure out what exactly, how far I can go. Not that I'm trying that right now. It just happens to be whatever. Or I might have been talking a little bit quieter. So I just switched the microphone a little bit closer. And we'll see. But I'm just about ready here. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now in Star Wars land and everything. So we'll see how tonight goes. Kind of a good night to talk about Charlie Skywalker's Psychology. All right, so here we go. Start camera. Okay, let's see how that is. I don't know how that is going to be. That should be okay, I think. I guess we'll find out. Before it was really skippy and slow, so like I'd go like this, and it would just be like it would be skipping a lot of frames. But I think I'm going to be all right using this this one, even though it's not that really that good of a picture. I don't think. Then again, it could also be that it isn't that good of a picture on my computer because my computer's going to die any one of these days. The little notepad that I have. Well, Charlie, we're gonna talk about what's going on with that video because I got a lot to say about it. I was on Darth Lunga's show last night and talked about it. And in my mind, I was the only one with the voice of reason. And I went on there today and kind of the same thing. But I know Patrick said, did Patrick say he's coming on here? I just saw that really quick. Hi, but he's not home. Okay, so I'm gonna just hold off on that big talk and see if we get a couple more people in here that want to be part of the discussion because I know a couple people said they wanted to talk about it. But the most important thing to get the everything out of the way, the flagship show is the Bacta tank that's on Mondays at 9:30. The guest this week is going to be someone that you all know. I don't know if you've heard me say it or not yet. I'll give you a hint and see if anybody can guess it. She's a wonderful gal. We'll start off like that. But it is so that this is brought to you by my patrons. I have I almost said Patreon tank. That's all right. I got the Patreon tank for the Bacta tank and the Septic tank. If you want to hop in the Patreon tank, go to patreon.com/TooMedToo and you can throw some money at me. Starting August 1st, there's going to be some new tier setup. Working on the final details of that. And, it's going to be, they're pretty much what people are already, people that I already have in there, what they're contributing already. But there's just going to be some gifts, given out. There's going to be a $2 tier, a $5 tier, a $10 tier, a $20 tier, and then a couple more expensive tiers. There's going to be, I'm doing it. There's going to be a $1,000 tier. And that $1,000 tier, if someone wants to give me $1,000 a month after 6 months, I will buy them their plane ticket to either Florida or California, and we will get a 3-day pass and go to Galaxy's Edge. And so it will be their they're not that I think anyone's ever going to do it, but in case anyone ever did, crazier things have happened. It's going to be your airfare, your hotel, and your 3 days at Galaxy's Edge. Now I'm not buying. I'm all that extra stuff you got to pay for. You got to pay for your food and building droids and stuff like that. But you're at least going to get there. So unless I want to do like a $5,000 one, then it's going to be all inclusive. But that's just a little crazy. 5,000. Maybe I'll do a $5,000 one. We'll go on the cruise. That would be fun too. Or when they do the all-inclusive one that they were talking about, the hotel that they take you to Galaxy's Edge and go over. But so I think Mr. Rez said he was going to come on here and talk about something he got in the mail today. I don't know. That's what the rumor has it. But so yeah, anyways, get back on track over here. Going off on my own little thing. The Patreons, we have Mr. Rez, Rural Farm Boy, Heidi Fetter, Chris King. Happy birthday, Chris King. Kylo Ren, Flores, and Kylo Customs. So those are all the Patreons. They help bring you these shows and, help me keep the lights on because right now it's a little tough, a little crazy out there. But yeah, I put the link. Mr. Rez never comes on. He never wants to, but that's okay. We love Mr. Rez anyways. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see some pictures of the merch he got, the loot he got. I don't even know if it's a good stim pack or not. But I guess we can. Hey, the Great Council. We have Darth Daddy Lunga in the house. So we're almost done with this book, this fucking horrible book that this asshole wrote. The book, the Star Wars Book of Lists. And, like I've said, I don't want to. Oh, we got Charlie coming in. Maybe. Let's see if it adds him in here. We're working on shoestring computers right now. I might have to switch over to my phone. All right, Charlie, how you doing?
Oh, just peachy. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Thanks about your computers, man.
Yeah, it's just been the ongoing problem. Quick little fix and ended up being a lot worse than I think what it was supposed to be. And then with COVID and everything, just taking forever to get it fixed and get it done. And then I'm using this little, I've talked about before, using this little 4 gig notebook to try and do everything. And it's nowhere near powerful enough. And I think I've just been beating the hell out of it and trying to do too much and, too many windows open and it keeps freezing. And now half the time the keyboard doesn't even work. So I have to use the on-screen keyboard and redo the drivers every time. And sometimes it just turns off. But
yeah.
So now, I guess we could get back to the book later. So you said you don't really know what's going on with the whole Ray Park thing. You kind of stayed away from that.
Well, we had an outage last night. Our electricity went out, and it was at 8:45, 9 o'clock here, and then it didn't come back on till like 3 o'clock. 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I really couldn't sleep. And then so I got on Twitter, and then I saw all these messages about, oh, he must have got hacked. And I'm like, wow. And I couldn't figure out, I couldn't find the root message that started it. So I'm like, what in the world's going on? But then I started getting tired. I woke up this morning and still more of the same. Nothing was ever really concrete on what had happened. And then I kind of saw a flash of something. Somebody said something that posted a picture on Instagram or a video on Instagram of him and his wife. But it was just because of revenge, and I'm like, what? This just doesn't really make sense. So I don't understand the particulars of it. I hope whatever it is not true. Just because they had so much going, and scheduled for the character that he plays, and it's like, so I don't know.
I mean, that's one thing. So I was on I was watching Streaming Star Wars. They were doing The Mandalorian Episode 5, and Steele Saunders was on because him and his whole Toro Calican thing. So he was doing that. And while I was watching that, I flipped over to Twitter, and I saw a couple of our friends posting and making jokes. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about, so I tried to look through it. I couldn't really find it. This was somewhere around probably 10:30, 10:45 Eastern time last night. And then, as a little bit more time went on, people were talking about Ray Park's Instagram, and like the messages I'm seeing from women on there, and oh, he's much bigger than I thought he'd be. Good for him, blah blah blah, and so I click over, and it's a picture. You can't see if there's no guy's face. There's just a guy's penis there, and a woman giving him a blowjob, and it seems to be kind of a rough blowjob. Whether or not that's how they normally are, or I don't know about their sex life. I don't really care about their sex life. It's really nobody's business if they're both happy. So then it was like, okay, so he either got. Everybody's thinking that he got hacked. So it's posted on his Instagram. That's the only thing we know. And then so Twitter's going crazy with dick jokes, and now we know what happened to Maul's bottom half after episode 1, and just things like that. Just I mean, your first impression, it's funny, dick jokes, and then after a little while, it turns into she doesn't look like she was enjoying it. He grabbed her by the neck, blah blah blah, and it's like, well, I mean, you don't really know people's sex lives. Maybe she doesn't enjoy it, but she was doing it because he did the dishes and that was a bit his reward, or maybe there was something more, maybe there was something worse in there that we don't know about. Like maybe they do have a physical sex life, so he grabbed her by the the head, and that's a normal thing, or maybe he was being an asshole, and when he did it, we don't know. But so then Twitter goes from the funniness to people, well, she doesn't look, and it's true. Even if he posted it, did both parties consent to it posted, or were they fighting and he posted it? So Twitter went from this funny high thing to this low, how horrible it is, and you people that are posting jokes are disgusting. You're just as bad as him, and we all hate women and violate women, and all that bullshit. And that went on for a little while, and then it kind of went back to like, well, we don't know what happened. Like, and then somebody posted a screenshot of his wife posting on Instagram that he's crazy, he's an asshole, blah blah blah. Please help me get this taken down. He's sick, he needs help, like all this shit. And then a couple minutes later, one comes out, a screenshot from his daughter's account, that my dad is disgusting, and we have the police come to the house three times, and nothing happens. And so my thing was like, okay, we don't even know if these are real. The only thing we know is that we see a video was posted. We don't know who's posted it. We know it's posted on his Instagram, and we have then these two screenshots that, I mean, I can't Photoshop well, but I could still Photoshop a screenshot if I wanted to and put it out there. So that was like, the whole turmoil, then trying to figure out, and that was my whole thing is, the only thing we know for a fact is it was posted. We don't know who posted it. We don't know who the guy is. And we have fact number 2 and 3. We have 2 screenshots supposedly from the wife and from the daughter. So let's find out until we actually have somebody talking, because if that's the only evidence we have, that's nothing. The police can't do anything until, even if it was revenge porn that he was putting on there, the police can't do anything until she makes a complaint. And,
right. Well, see, and I was looking, and I just saw a couple of shots, that said, I can't believe he, basically, I can't believe he did this. Help me take it down. And then I saw a screenshot later that said that, you know, it was like complete opposite. So it wasn't really, basically that people have got it all wrong. Stop jumping to conclusions. Stop, DMing me. I'm not going to respond. We're trying to figure out, get through this. This is very hurtful to all of us. So, then I saw the one about the kids. Kids said, forget him. He's a jerk. And then I saw another one from the wife that said, don't know who posted that. It wasn't us. That's not true. The kids haven't said anything at all. So it's like, I don't know. And then I wasn't sure, was it actually his wife? If it was his wife, was that him? And you don't know. So other than jokes, a few jokes here and there, I really didn't hear much of, nothing concrete. So I don't know.
Well, that was kind of my stance last night when I went on Lunga's show, Darth Lunga's show, and I was talking about it, and I was saying, we don't know anything about it, so we can't go and judge, and it's not really our business. What's going on. Like, yes, he posted it publicly, so it's posted publicly, but the details really aren't any of our business. And then the wife is saying, please stop doing this, please stop talking about it. So I mean, what I'm doing right now really isn't what she wanted to, but please just leave it alone, and we're dealing with it. But I mean, that's the whole thing too. It's like, unless she says, hey, we want help, she's saying right now in her statements that this is all made up, so it should probably pretty much be dropped. But you still have, I mean, on my Twitter today, there was someone going after someone else who said, hey, I talked to the wife, and he has, he's, whatever your personal views on this person are, doesn't really matter. He said, I talked to the wife, and she said, these are the things she wants me to talk about. She wants people to, if they see anything's posted, have it taken down, stop DMing us. These things that are posted that you're seeing their screenshots of are not real. But then you get these people that are, because like, me, I'm, if there was someone watching this, they could be like, well, Michael hates women because he's defending them. Well, there's nothing to defend. We're being told by them there's nothing wrong. The only thing that's wrong is that it violated Instagram's terms of service. That's the only thing that we know is wrong right now. So everything else is complete speculation. They're telling us not to worry about it. Now, where the conversation then comes in, since we don't need to talk about this anymore, we've talked about it, to whatever point, and it's none of our business. Whatever you and your wife do, I don't know. You have 6 kids. You're obviously doing something right. Whatever. Whatever anybody does, whatever kind of letters they put for their distinguish, it doesn't really matter. Now the thing is, like yesterday, people were saying, how can you talk about, Disney films and Disney movies and this and that? It's going to ruin it, Well, yeah, because he's an actor in it, so that's what we're going to talk about. And the fact that whether or not he did it is irrelevant, And there's also a whole other thing of, that she was cheating on him, so that's where the revenge porn thing comes in. But so it's like, but
it's
I mean, it's all pretty much hearsay. It's not like, I mean, I don't know. It's not like there's a video of him beating her and whatever. There's a video. We don't even know if it's him or not.
Right.
So, but
I mean, it's
so it's like,
it's something that's going to get talked about. It's one, because it's the Star Wars universe is the Star Wars universe, and we'll talk and discuss anything from the multi uses of a protocol droid versus And then when something like this comes on, yeah, it's affecting our universe. We're going to discuss it, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with discussing it, but we're not calling anybody out. We're not saying that people are trash if you do this or if you do that. It's just a discussion. So there's nothing that people can, I don't think, can really get, out of shape with for us just having a discussion. One, we don't know the facts, so we're not condemning anybody. Yes, it was published on a social media outlet that shouldn't have happened. Granted, yes, that is correct. But the rest of it is just, well, how does this affect Star Wars? Are they going to have somebody else that plays this role? Are they going to have to completely scrap their plan? Or is this just something that is, going to get overblown by certain groups of people, or swept under the rug by certain groups of people, whatever the case may be. That's all we're discussing really is, well, what are the facts as we know it? Here's what we have. All right, well, how's that going to affect Star Wars? And that's going to get to our next branch of discussion. It's, I don't think anybody that we know that we're associated with would condemn somebody or their actions just because, a possible errant post was put out there. We don't know.
Oh no, I'm telling you, last night, Twitter, and even today, like after it was Andy Signor, who's had his dealings in the past, and he's talked about it. I don't want to talk about it, but he's talked about it. He cheated on his wife. He's in this, a YouTuber that has a big following. He would flirt with girls and everything with his YouTube. So now there's a bunch of people that are like, he's the one who talked to his wife, and now there's a bunch of people saying, well, he's harassing women and this and that, and it's like, the guy had a past. He had admitted to it. Whatever. Move on. His wife has forgiven him. I don't know why we're still condemning him, but I mean that's still going on, and it's like, so people on Twitter are condemning other people for writing and making a joke about it, or for discussing it, and it's like, and that's the whole thing. It's even bigger than the Star Wars or this one issue. It's like a societal problem where you don't have any facts. Like I told you, there's a video. We don't know anything about the video except his wife is in the video. And there's a guy in the video, but we don't know who the guy is. And then there's 2 screenshots. That's the only thing we know. And everyone takes it as facts and runs with it. And that's the problem that, if it was something that was definitive, like, they're showing him beating his wife or beating a child or something like that, that you can't, refute the evidence on there, that's one thing. But you're taking a couple stills and a video and, making up your mind and deciding what something is, deciding the story, deciding all the details, deciding what the punishment should be, deciding, like me that was saying, we need more evidence before we, make these snap judgments. That we don't make it right now. Let's wait until we actually have someone that's involved in it speak about it, and not just these stills or whatever. And just what a cesspool Twitter is, and this girl that's just going on, attacking this guy for doing the story, and then he calls her out for attacking him, and she's like, "Oh, well, you have 35,000 people on your channel. I only have 3,000, and so now people are harassing me." Well, I'm sorry. Does anyone be harassed? No. But if you go and call someone out, you should expect them to have a rebuttal against you. And when they have 10 times as many followers as you, you have to expect that some of those followers are going to have something to say about you.
Like we have, say on average we have 30 people that will tune into our podcast. You're going up against somebody that has, say 300. You expect 3 people would, out of the 30 will say, hey, we will call somebody out on it and stick up for you. Whereas somebody that has, the 300, they'll have 30 people. The voices of 30 are a lot louder than the voices of 3.
Yeah. But then you get those voices of 3 that start, claiming that it's all oppression and everything. And that's where it's just like, no, you can have a disagreement. A guy and girl can have a disagreement. And And just as long as, I don't know, because I mean, this is going to get me in trouble, but a guy and a girl can have a disagreement. And, if the girl calls the guy a name, it's fine. But the guy, the girl calls the guy an asshole, it's okay. But the guy calls the girl a bitch, then it's like, whoa, 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 you're demeaning to women. Well, no, he's just reciprocating what you said. And, I mean, is it right? Do I want anybody to tell my mom or my sisters that way? No. But if my mom or my sister calls some guy an asshole and they call her a bitch back, well, I mean, is it right? I mean, it's tit for tat. I mean, you got to turn the other cheek, but still, it's reciprocal, But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's just me, and I'm not the most popular person. I'm kind of opinionated, but I mean, it's just, I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes. You don't get a free pass. Just because you're a girl that says you can call anybody anything, and then as soon as someone calls it back, then you're a misogynist and hate women and sexist and all this other shit. But but yeah, so I think that should pretty much cover the Star Wars or
Sure.
that's kind of what happened with the story. And that's the whole thing. It's Twitter. It exploded and then it died down, and then we got the whole story, and it's pretty much done, except for a couple people that are using this for attention. And like when a girl calls out a guy, and then the guy comes back and she calls him misogynist and sexist and asshole, and he comes back, he's like, I don't even know who you are, why don't you shut up? Oh, you're telling me to shut up because you hate women? We know your reputation. Right. It's just kind of like that's just bullshit. That's just all that's where the pieces of shit Phantom Menace come in and get their social justice warrior thing. That's where it comes from. The 1/10 of 1% of the regular people, that act like that, but so yeah. So anyways, so here's the thing. So now this is so the video's posted on there. Whether or not it's him or not, for this part of the story is relevant. Whether or not it's him or not doesn't really matter. It was posted on his Instagram. Right. I don't think there's any way Disney is going to go forward with him. No matter what, even if it comes out that he was hacked, and if it would have been a random person, there's a good chance maybe he could have gotten out. It's his wife, so right. And I don't think it fits the Disney what Disney wants to portray, and have it be with his wife. Whether or not it's him or not, or it doesn't really matter. It was posted on his account and people saw it, so that's I mean that's where we're at. So I mean they're not gonna cancel the plans with Darth Maul and Kira. They're just not gonna go forward with him. And Sam Witwer has said in the past that he wanted to play Maul and live action, and he could. He's got to hit the weight. He's got to hit the weights a little bit, and they do a little bit of work with the makeup or do a little prosthesis or whatever on him, or do some CGI action on him, and make him look more like Maul. I mean, Maul and Solo doesn't really look like Maul did in the Phantom Menace because he's 30 years or 20 years older. So he looks a little bit different, even with the makeup on. So I mean, I think they can definitely get away with, still doing it, and it's not really going to change anything. It's just going to be a different actor. They put him in there, and then they get a martial artist to do the stunts. Any martial artist, I don't mean any martial artist, but there's so many of stuntmen out there or martial artists out there that could do his role and do his part.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Let's see. He's done. I know he's in Star Wars. Witwer's done like a lot of the video game stuff. Let's see. I'm trying to see what Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Did he play Maul? Was he the voice of Maul?
I am not sure.
In Clone Wars?
He was Maul in Clone Wars.
Okay. So, I mean, that there's something with at least some familiarity with the character. So it's not like it's going to be that much of a stretch. Not only that, the guy kind of looks like a young Ray Park anyway. he's not quite as built, but throw him in the gym. But he looks a lot like Ray Park did, say, was that 1995 or 96 when X-Men came out, when he played Toad. So I could see some sort of characteristics where he would fit a mold or body type, just because that. I mean, there's prosthetics that they're going to put on him anyway. So there's definitely a lot of similarities there. I could definitely see them going that way. The only thing is how much of a, I don't want to say stigma, but how much of an impact has Ray Park had on Maul? Yes, he played him in the movies, but are people going to automatically associate that character with him if they decide not to go with him, or can it be salvaged that way? If that's making sense.
I see. My opinion on that, I don't think it really matters, because it's not like a, episode 9, who are we going to get to play Princess Leia now? And people are going to, which, if they would have got somebody else to play Princess Leia, I mean, they would have. I wouldn't have wanted them to, but if they decided to, that's what would have been done. If they decided to go a different route, but we only had him for so little in episode 1, and we didn't really, and we'll just call him a masked character. Basically, he's a masked character. So to have him come back, like I said, he looked completely different, and he got fat shamed in Solo. Well, is it because he got fat, or is it because he's 20 years older? I mean, I'm a lot fatter than I was, but that's because, now I was on bed rest and put on 40 pounds, a couple of years ago, and now I can't do anything with my lung problems after having my mysterious respiratory virus that I had, but I couldn't get tested for COVID because I'm in New York City. I'm not dying, but all my doctors say that I had it. So I can't really do anything because, walking down the street, walking the dog, sometimes I get short of breath. So it's like I put on, and I'm not working too, so I'm not on my feet working all the time. So that's my doctor said. She said, "You put on 20 pounds since April. What happened?" So my lungs, I'm not working, and I can't do anything. She's like, "Well, maybe you should start doing some stuff around the house." All right, what do you want me to do around the house? You give me a stress test to do I walk on they gave me a stress test. I walked on the treadmill for 4 minutes and I was done. Not because of my heart, because I couldn't breathe anymore. But anyways, all right, so get back to Darth Maul. You have him, so I mean, it would probably be best to have Sam play him because you have the voice, but anybody can play him.
Right. Yeah.
You just need close to a body type, and Ray Park was a lot bigger, whether it was muscle or fat, than he was 20 years ago. So it doesn't really matter. It's not the same character, and I don't know what happens to a man with no legs that sits around for 20 years just being full of hate. Maybe that does make him put on weight.
Right. Hey, the character itself went through such a transformation. Not only was he split in two, and then he ended up having that one-time spider legs, mechanical legs, and then and then he had several different types of humanoid type legs. So there's no telling what hey, artificial legs could add 20 pounds to you. I mean, that's not beyond conceivable there. So it's just my thought was just whether or not it could be somewhat believable, and with Sam having played, at least voice acted the character in the past, if Disney decides to pull the trigger and release Ray Park for many of his obligations, they definitely have a go-to in that. And you have a very valid point that it is a guy in a mask. Just anybody can create, anyone could do it, and you could still have Sam do the voice in post production, just like they did with David Proust and James Earl Jones.
I just want to really quick. Fanny's somebody new. Just started following me. Fanny's from the Philippines.
Oh, awesome!
So,
hey, Fanny.
So we'll maybe he can grow my Filipino crowd. Is it right?
There you go.
Filipino crowd? Is that what it'd be? He's a Filipino, so it'd be the Filipino crowd, I guess. I don't know. But Chris, is Chris still here? Do we got Chris King in the house?
Let's see.
Chris, let me know if you're still here.
There's still 7 watching, so I know I'm one of them though. So it leaves. Now there's 6 watching. So possibly.
And I just found out breaking news. What's new on Jakku? The winner is TooMedToo. DM us to claim your prize.
What? What'd you win?
I won a Kylo Ren keychain and 10 Star Wars stickers.
Nice.
Which is great because
paid vacation to Jakku.
Yeah. Well, I just put on. It's funny because it's like, you ask like, hey, get some people to follow me or whatever, and you always get a couple people to follow you. Or, a couple people pass it on or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I got a bunch of Funko Pops to give away because I bought Funko Pops. But sometimes I pick them up and like I'll give them to friends. I sent one to our buddy Johnny Orm,
right?
And over in jolly old England. You guys might know England as the losers to the one of the most prolific wars in the world. But anyways, it cost me $25 to mail it to them. It's a $12 Funko Pop. So it's like, it would have been cheaper for me to, go to Amazon UK and buy it for him and send it to him. But it's just I had some other things to send him. But yeah, I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. But yeah, so I was like, okay, so I was like, let's do a contest. I'm at 850 followers right now. I was like, if I, when I get to 1,000 followers, all you gotta do is retweet this and like it, and when I get to 1,000, that's 150 people. Like if that, if everybody shared it and one person did it, I figured in a month or so, maybe 2 months, I could get up to that 1,000. I lost people when I did that.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm giving away. All you gotta do is like and share. Chris King, I need you to come on here for your birthday, bro.
He feels like a who. Or is that a hoe? No, it's 2 O's.
No, he's a
hoe.
So yeah, it was just fun because and it's the Trandoshan Thug Funko Pop, and I'd pull it up right now, but I can't do that with my computer with what I'm working with. But it's the Trandoshan Thug and the Moff Gideon. So they're two decent Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I was just surprised because I was like, all right, well, I'll leave it up there for whatever, or if I get, maybe I'll just decide to pull it off in a couple of days if absolutely no one's sharing or doing it, and I'll just give to somebody that's done it or shared it. But we'll see what happens. All depends. But yeah, we need Chris to come on here. His birthday. That's where we're at with Maul. I really think that there's any reason that anything going on. And, I've been saying that I, just from talking with people and, I don't have any sources like, Noah and Corey do on Kessel Run Transmission, anybody that's telling me things, but I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. Well, I've been saying for months that I think Disney's going to do like a little short, like the way that Marvel did it. and they're going to do individual shows that kind of tie together and have like that. That's how they're going to do Solo 2. And I've been talking about that for a while. Well, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been talking about how, I've been hearing things. And, oh, Chris King, it's not your birthday. It was your dad's birthday? Well, you got to come out anyways for your birthday, bro. Because I'm telling everybody it's your birthday. So, and a couple people told me they knew it was your birthday. I didn't think it was, but, I really had no clue. But,
you should come on anyway.
yeah, you got to come on anyways. You got to come on. You got to come on for your birthday. Even though it's not your birthday, it doesn't really matter.
Come on, Chris.
You don't even have to show your face, even though we love it and you're beautiful.
Come on, Chris. When's the last time that we were in the same spot together?
It's been a while since I could say Chris was on the show with Charlie. That's my little song right there.
Speaking of songs, man, I had a really good episode the other. I guess I posted it this morning, but it was Friday night. Was it Friday? Thursday night, I think. I don't
Thursday
remember
night.
What day I don't remember what day I recorded it. But man, we had a lot of fun. It was I had Cam Ray on, and we were talking about music, and it was just a fun episode. I'm sure you know who Cam is, so just had a blast doing it. So I have another one coming up this week. This is just to kill time while Chris gets on. Get on, Chris.
All right, he said he's got to read a bedtime story.
Right. I got a bedtime story for you. Yeah.
Oh. We already talked about that bedtime story.
All right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's it's not gonna. I don't really think it's gonna affect it. I think we might change subject. I don't know if I'm going back to it. But yeah, I don't really think it's gonna really affect it. Like I said, I don't have any sources, but like what I like to do is I like to talk to people. I talk to people all the time, and whether they're, sometimes I talk to authors, sometimes I talk to actors, sometimes I talk to people that aren't even on the show. I talk to them in private, or they've there's somebody that's been on my show that I've never actually, that I became friends with, that I've actually never interviewed, but they've been, on like game nights and stuff that we have. But it's just, I don't really want to say too much about, who I've talked to about things, because no one's told me anything. But it's when you talk to someone over and over and over again, they're not letting anything slip, but they might say something, and they might not even think it's a big deal. But you take, and you don't even think of it at that time as a big deal. But then you hear someone else say something, and you put them together. It's like, wait a second, well, if you said this, and you said this, and you said this, and they're all completely separate, they're not related at all. But you hear something from an actor, and you hear something from an author, and you hear something from, someone else that does, completely also unrelated, that's in the media or something like that. Like, wait a second. If these three things are related, that means that this is probably happening. Then you get this news story. So I've been saying for, a couple weeks that, everyone that's been posting make Solo 2 happen. I've been saying there's something going on. I don't have any proof, but I just have a feeling. And I said, there's a lot of things going on. That ties into, I think when Alberto from Radio Rebellion was on the other day, I told him that my source was Delilah. I'm like, here's my source, and I showed him Delilah. And it's just like, I was like, there's something going on. They're going to be announcing it soon, because I think they were going to announce it at Celebration, or bits and pieces of it. And if COVID wouldn't have happened, these things would have been underway or well underway, or whatever it happens to be. So they would have been able to bring people on to talk about it, on the stage, or have a clip of something, or whatever it is to to entice us. Because that was the other thing. Everyone, what are they going to talk about at Celebration? There's nothing going on. Well, I think there's a lot going on. And now we find out that, it's still not reported by Star Wars or Lucasfilm or Disney, but we got the Lando thing going on.
Right.
Which perfectly ties into a bunch of different stories. So you got the Lando thing for Make Solo 2 happen. You have a Maul and Kira show, which, once again, I don't know who it is that reported it. But no one really seems to be fighting them on it, and nobody really seems to be saying they're not reputable. But I can't really say. And, it was supposed to be a Kira show with Maul, because Maul's like the head of Crimson Dawn. It wasn't supposed to be like a Maul show. But Maul's the much bigger name. So, of course, you're going to say It's the Maul and Kira show, even though Maul might, and I'm just completely guessing at this, percentage-wise, but Maul might only be 5% of the show or 10% of the show, and the other 90% is Kira. But you're going to say, you're going to call it the Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen show, not the Scottie Pippen Michael Jordan show. Even though Scottie Pippen's in 90% of the show, just for that correlation right there. So. You have that, and then there's still something else that I think has to do with Solo that's going on, that's going to be announced pretty soon, just from hearing and talking to some people, and things that I've put together, and then you have Alden coming out saying, oh, well, if we had a good script, I would do it. Well, of course, if you have a good script, you're going to do it. If it's a shit script, you're not going to do it. But I don't think Disney's really going to do that. And that's one of the things when everybody's like, how do you feel about this? Well, I think if they execute it well, I'm going to like it. No shit. If they execute it, if it's horrible, you're not going to like it. But that's like, that's kind of like the answer of like, well, I think that's the answer for, I didn't really want it, but if it's, I'm going to like it if it's quality work. I think that's kind of the answer that everybody goes with, kind of like, the Bad Batch. Well, if it's good, I'll like it. Well, of course, if it's good, you like it. But, we have the Lando thing, that's speculation. You have the supposedly leaked Crimson Dawn or Maul and Kira show. I think we're going to hear some stuff about, like a Solo Chewie thing coming up soon, just with some of the people that might be in it or have something to do with it, and that's pretty much all I can go for on that. Once again, it's not. I don't have sources that are saying, hey, I work for Lucasfilm and here we go, this is what's happening, but you can't tell anybody. And then for me to confirm it, like these guys that are scoopers or, like whatever it has to be. But, there's just so much more they can do with it then, that might be related or might not be related, or even afterwards, go on to something else. Like, you can include Enfys Nest in the Riders. And there's just so many other things you can do with that storyline and around that time.
Yeah.
That I think would make it be a good show. And it's like I was joking with Alberto because he was on the other day and then he just posted something about it. I was like, Alberto, hey, you remember me? Because he posted something about Solo happening or whatever makes sense. And I was like, hey, Alberto, you remember me? You know me, right? And he's like, yeah, I know you. And I was like, my sources, right? I'm like, my sources are right once again. So.
Right. Oh no, it's I was on with Wookiee Radio last Saturday, I believe it was. We were discussing Bad Batch and things that they could do and where they could fit it in, and I really like the idea that they had of Bad Batch being like an A-team, the Star Wars A-team, basically. That was something that I think would be absolutely amazing. Every week they could do a new adventure Don't call us, we'll call you, kind of thing, and they're running from the government. The government's trying to track them down, just like the A-Team, and they have a little starship. It's got a little red stripe that goes on there, maybe some sort of throwback horn or. I just man, a lot of possibilities with that. It'd be amazing to see.
Oh, that's the thing too. People are that are upset about it. It's like, listen, I want to get so much Star Wars that it's not going to be for everybody, and you might not like things. And people that didn't like the Resistance, the Resistance is made for 8-year-olds. The Resistance was made for 6-year-olds. The skew on that was very, very young. They didn't really get too involved and too detailed in a lot of things the way that Clone Wars did or Rebels did with the violence or the death that goes on and everything. I mean, it was skewed very young. So I mean, if you go into that picture and you're watching a show for 8-year-olds, if you're watching Dora the Explorer and you're watching a show for 4-year-olds, not something that's supposed to be for a 40-year-old, and you go into it with a different mindset, then you can enjoy it or enjoy anything. But so it's like if this is going to be like a fun Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing, kind of goofy, in between, like Scooby-Doo and the A-Team sitcom that was on or drama show, like something in between there, okay, if that's what it is, you're not going to like it, fine. You don't like it, you don't have to watch it, but don't sit there and just talk shit about it because it's like it's skewed for a different age group. And you know what? Yeah, I would like to get this or that or the other thing, but we'll get it eventually. And they've talked about in the story group, they have their 1-year plan, their 3-year plan, their 5-year plan, their 10-year plan, their 20-year plan, and their plans that they're not set in stone. It wasn't like the Marvel plan where we're going to make 20 movies in 10 years and have this big culmination. But it's like there was also some people saying Dave Filoni, he can't do live action. We saw what happened in live action. He did episode 5 of The Mandalorian and it was horrible. Well, I love that episode. I mean, I don't like Toro Calican, but you're supposed to think of him as a piece of shit or an entitled guy or whatever you want to say. That's what he was, and that's the feeling you get. You're not supposed to like him. You're supposed to think he's this grimy, skeezy, whatever guy. And that's what he did. I think the actor is a horrible actor, but I really don't think he had to act too much. I think he was just kind of playing himself. But but that episode, it was great because it had. We're gonna find out in season 2 that episode was actually really important because we're gonna find out. The whole getting into the Boba Fett, Cobb Vanth, whatever's going to happen with that whole scenario. Remind me to tell you about Boba Fett after this because I don't want to lose my train of thought with the Bad Batch. But I don't even remember what the hell I was talking about now about the Bad Batch. But yeah, I think the Bad Batch is going to be fun, and it's just like they have plans, and like people were saying, Dave Filoni can't do live action, so he's got to go back to do cartoons. Well, if this cartoon is coming out next year, that means they already started it last year. So they started, people say, so they started it. They probably knew it Celebration last year. So last April, they already knew about it, and had it all solidified and what they were doing, how everything was going to be. They just didn't tell us something that was going to happen 2 years from now. They were dealing with, like Resistance and talking about kind of going into, I know I'm going all over the place here. Kind of like the literary panel for Star Wars yesterday. I was disappointed because I wanted to hear more about the future things that were going on. And they talked about the Poe Dameron Freefall, which that's going to deal with. I don't know if I told you, I got hooked up with a couple of publishers, so I'm getting review copies now, and I'm getting a few other. There's another site I found that I can get free books from too, in case I don't get them from the publishers to read, so I can review them and have my reviews coming out. Like let's say the book comes out on Tuesday, I can have my review done and have it uploaded on Tuesday morning, for anybody that wants to read about it to read or whatever. Do the spoiler-free review a week before to get people wanting to do it. It just, whatever happens to be. But, so it's like those people that are saying that, I don't know. But it's like, I was just reading the comment that Dave also did the first chapter, and everyone and their mother watched Star Wars again. So, it's like everybody, because they don't like that one. Yeah, it was all nostalgia. It was great. I sat there and I watched it and I loved it because it was like, I know that place. I know that. That's great. Oh, Beggar's Canyon. Okay. Like all these name dropping things. It was great. But get back to the panel, and they talked about, these are all books that I already have in my possession, will have, that I'm going to be getting for review copies, or have ordered off of Amazon, or I'm getting them for Audible. So like I wasn't really too excited about that because I'm already sold on it. But I wanted to hear more about like the High Republic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's still 5 months away or 6 months away, whatever, before we get the first book, but it was supposed to come out. It's supposed to come out next month. It's supposed to come out in a couple weeks. So they obviously, the books are done. The problem I think with that is they couldn't get everything that they wanted done together. So they wanted, this book to come out with this comic book, with this whatever, and have everything go down in line. And what I heard is that it wasn't the books that were being held up. It was the comic books were so far behind with production of those. So that they wouldn't be able to drop the comic books at the same time as the books. That's why they had to put it off. But I mean, so, all right, we're going to get them at a different time. That's just, it was a good panel. I enjoyed hearing from a couple of people. I've interviewed George Mann. I'm going to be interviewing George Mann again when Dark Legends comes out. And Tuesday it comes out, actually. But I'll be interviewing him first week in August, probably. Just got to get that final date set out. But he's got a lot of other stuff besides Star Wars. That's the one thing. It's like, I can't interview somebody because I want to talk to them. I can't sit there with a list of questions and be like, okay, because it's like, it's just not my thing. I talk too much. I talk too much about myself. When I did my Dominic Pace interview, I edited out 20 minutes of me talking. It's a 47-minute interview or 42-minute interview. I edited out 20 minutes of me just talking about nonsense with him because it wasn't, like it just didn't need to go in there. And the same thing with, George Mann wasn't that bad. It was only a couple minutes. But yeah, it's just, a lot of talking. So it's like, I have his comic books right here that George Mann just did. They just came out a couple weeks ago. Engine Ward. I'm going to talk to him about that. He has another book that he's doing he has a bunch of other books that he's done. He's a very well-known author, especially in England, because he does a lot of Sherlock Holmes and Doctor Who. I'm sure that there's people in the United States that know him. That's not what I'm saying. But, Doctor Who and, Sherlock Holmes are much more, UK oriented than they are in the US. But he's got a lot of them over there. And, so it's like I picked up a couple of those books. I'm going to, listen to those on Audible or, read those. I read with my ears. So, it's just like it's. Yes, I'm mostly Star Wars, but if you read my bio, it says Star Wars, my dog, science, and whatever else I feel like talking about. Because if I want to talk about football one day, I'm going to talk about football. That's where, Camry, interviews are awesome, minus all the questions and answers. Yeah. Myths and Fables is a really good book. I really enjoyed it. And that's the other thing too. It's like we were saying, the Bad Batch, it's not going to be for everybody, but it's going to be, if they try and make it a serious cartoon, I don't think it's going to do well. If they try and make it like a Saturday night or Saturday morning cartoon, kind of fun, kind of goofy, like the A-Team meets Scooby-Doo kind of thing. That, doesn't really, I think that's how it's going to fly. But, we'll see, and that's the same thing with the books. It's like, you're reading a book about myths and fables, stuff that's not real. It's
Nice.
canon. So now dragons are canon. But, and when we get Dark Legends, we're going to find out werewolves are canon, and we're going to find out that vampires are canon. But it's going to have a little different spin. Like I don't have this book yet, so I'm not giving anything away that we know for sure. But it kind of like what they talked about in the panel.
Right.
They were trying for years. To Plagueis was trying to create life and make life and try and extend life. So, and they were trying to create creatures. Hey, I got a question for you. How do you feel about pineapple on pizza?
No.
Cam Ray, I got
So-
someone to come live with you. She said no.
No. No.
But yeah, so
I mean,
it's going to be.
I'm making a cauliflower pizza for myself right now. By the way.
I'm sorry, Charlie. What were you saying?
I was just going to tell you, maybe a little bit of behind the scenes thing that maybe possibly Cam Ray was extolling the wondrousness of pineapple on pizza. Maybe behind the scenes, it didn't quite make the final cut. Maybe I better not say that because I want him to come back on the show again. So,
Well, here's the thing. If you're gonna put like sausage and onion and pineapple on pizza, I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna want to touch it. But if you do the combinations right, like you put something salty, so you put like bacon or Canadian bacon or ham, and no one's
yeah,
talking
it's
to
a
you
flavor
anymore,
profile.
Was it right?
except for Cam Ray. Cam Ray said you're a good girl. Yeah, you get the you do that with maybe some bacon and maybe something. Since you have something sweet, you have something salty, you get something spicy. Put some jalapenos on there too. Very nice pizza that way. Dale's saying he likes chicken and garlic with tomatoes. I think I posted something about doing a fig, a nice fig pizza with a balsamic like a saba, and something like that. And they told me I was freaking crazy.
Here's
Mr.
one
Ryan.
for you. I really enjoy a barbecue chicken pizza.
Yes, barbecue chicken pizza, very good too.
Oh, it's amazing! I love it.
But yeah, some.
All right. So what about Boba Fett? You were saying something about Boba Fett to remind you.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this is my thing that I came up with the other day. So Boba Fett. I think I talked about this with Alberto, and I was like, "Listen, dude, I got some ideas. I just never remember to talk about them or get sidetracked about whatever." So Cam Ray comes on, makes me talk about pizza and whatever shit. So.
It's all Cam's fault.
Oh, hang on, we gotta let Chris on here.
Oh yeah.
Gonna take a second, the computer goes a little
There
slow.
he is.
Pineapple.
Did he just call you Apple? I thought he said hi Apple. Oh, pineapple. Oh, pineapple.
All day long, pineapple.
All right, Cam Ray is outnumbered here.
Oh, show.
Well, it's good to see you, Chris.
See you too, man. Been a while.
Yeah. I've kind of been hiding out doing my other thing. So
That's what we're all doing, right?
yeah, something like that. I had a point where I was kind of getting harassed, so I took a back burner and a back seat to things, and now I'm just starting to come back around. thankfully the Condors had me on, and so give me that swift kick in the backside that I need to get back to podcasting again.
I hear you, man.
I think we lost Michael. I don't know. He must be falling asleep over there. No, wait a minute. Now we're getting all sorts of high tech here.
Oh God.
I'm getting scared.
All right. No, for when I brought Chris on, it killed my computer can't handle it. The little notebook can't handle it, so it
I'm sorry.
my phone.
I didn't have that effect, I guess.
My phone's stronger than my little computer that I'm using. So the only thing is, like, I can't screen share and do all the fun stuff. I was trying to do that yesterday. But all right, so we got Chris here, and it's a weird angle for me too. But we got Chris here, and Chris, it is your birthday today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you gonna unbox something for me?
Even better.
Sweet.
We got you a cupcake.
Thank you.
And I don't have any candles, but I have a lighter, so we're gonna sing "Happy Birthday" to you. Right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you. That's all you get. All right, you blew it out. Good. Let's burn my finger.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would have felt very bad because during that, I had this thought in my head, oh my God, what if he burns his house down right now? And that would have been very bad, especially since it's not even really my birthday.
Well, it's not even his birthday.
You see him running, trying to grab an extinguisher.
All right. So, Gilster's here. Gilster's going to like this because this is a. All right. So everybody, go share this on your Facebook and your Twitter to come in here because I'm gonna eat Chris's birthday cupcake, and then I'm gonna tell you about my Boba Fett thing that's going on. It's gonna be good.
Get him some milk.
Oh, I got a Coke. But yeah, you guys talk amongst yourselves for a minute while I eat my cupcake.
I'm sharing. Hold on.
All right.
No. Take a bite. Nibble on it.
Nibble on you wanna.
Put it in your mouth.
So
his phone's gonna smell like cupcake.
It's a birthday cake cupcake.
See? There you go.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to be talking. Hey, Sportster's back. Man, how about that? Baseball. Football's right around the corner. NBA. Oh, right. We're supposed to be talking about Star Wars.
Pump the
No,
brakes.
we talk about whatever. It's a subject. Monday night is a Star Wars night. Subject thing is whatever we feel like talking about. We just usually end up talking about Star Wars anyways. But yeah, did you see somebody posted? So they're putting fake fans in the in the stands.
Yes. Yeah, cutouts.
Are they doing something?
Are they cutouts or are they CGI?
I believe they're cutouts.
Okay. Because the one I saw, it looked like they were CGI because it was like they were floating a foot above the seat.
Maybe I just had a bad picture of it.
Are they doing like tweet your reaction or something like that?
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I know sports is kind of back. I just haven't watched any of it yet. which is sad for me because I'm a huge sports fan.
All right, so here we go. Here's my Boba Fett thing.
Yes, Boba Fett. And then I need to run and get the kids in bed. So
okay, so I was talking with Alberto, and we were just talking about what we thought was going to happen, and whether or not we thought it was going to be Boba Fett coming back or Cobb Vanth, and I was saying that I think we have all these people coming in, but it's going to be one show. It's going to be like the Rebel cast and like one show. It's not going to be like we had episode, was it 4 or 6? Episode 6 of Mandalorian, where the heist, where they go and they break out. What's his name? It's going to be like an ensemble cast like that. So you're going to have 5 or 6 people in one thing. I think that's what it's going to be for like the Rebels. My whole thing is, if you put Boba Fett in the Mandalorian, it's really going to mess up the Mandalorian, because Boba Fett is going to steal the show. It doesn't matter. You have to have him in there really, really quick. Or, so my thing is that it's going to be, since we have Boba Fett in the armor, or we have the armor that, we've been told is going to be in there or whatever. But I think it's going to be Boba Fett fighting Moff Gideon for the black saber, because Moff Gideon's got to lose the black saber, and we need someone to take the black, to be the ruler of Mandalore, then, or to be possessor of the dark saber. I mean, but who better to do it and have it not affect Din Djarin? Because Din Djarin, if it was a fight between Din Djarin and Boba Fett, Din Djarin's not going to win. You need Baby Yoda's going to have to help him, and then I mean, I'm being serious. Like Yoju's got to pull the strings and help him. But I mean, if it's a one-on-one fight, and Boba Fett has his suit, and Din Djarin's got his suit, Boba Fett's winning. There's no way Din Djarin's going to win.
Well, they also didn't say how he was going to be in there. So, I mean, it could be we've already seen quite a few flashback scenes in Mandalore. So, who's to say that Boba Fett's not going to be a part of some sort of flashback, that rather than be present tense? He doesn't have to be. It could be a flashback of some sort. We don't really know. All we know is, the armor's in there, but we don't no other context. So could possibly be a flashback scene. We've seen a lot of people that help flashbacks to when Din Djarin was a kid and he gets helped out of the Fett. Who's to say that for whatever reason it wasn't Boba Fett that helped him out and now is gone?
Charlie, don't piss in my Wheaties, dude. This is a great theory. All right.
Okay.
All right. So Cobb Vanth. So here we go. So Cobb Vanth, he's telling everybody he's Boba Fett, and he's got to go and he stands up to Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon destroys him. Here comes the real old man Boba Fett, putting on his armor, getting his armor back from Cobb Vanth, because Cobb Vanth's an imposter. So that takes care of that whole scenario. And then Boba Fett fights fights Moff Gideon, and wins the Darksaber back, kills Moff Gideon, is injured himself, and or whatever happens, and then Sabine doesn't have to beat Moff Gideon to get the Darksaber. It's kind of given to her. She gets it from Boba Fett as he's dying, because he was actually never really a Mandalorian, or is he? Because we've had this conversation ongoing, and what were we told by Matt Martin? Just wait and see what happens. Isn't that what he told you, Charlie? When you asked when we questioned him?
Yes.
After I did my book report on whether or not Boba Fett was a Mandalorian, because we know he was, but then he wasn't. But now, if you look at This Is the Way, and it's a creed, he could be a Mandalorian because he was raised in the ways of the Mandalorian. He just was out for himself and not for the group. So, that, and the only thing that we have saying that he's not a Mandalorian is whatever hell that jackoff's name is, the senator or whoever he was, that says he's no Mandalorian. Well, I mean, he kind of is. Like the only thing we have is some corrupt politician saying that it's not him or that he's not one. So, right. What does that really prove? Like, what is that gonna do really?
First, okay, hold on. First, I want to say nice try on the crazy speculation, Michael. Take a couple steps back, though. Let a pro at this. First of all, my biggest problem is Boba Fett's evil, right? He's not a good guy, and it sounds like in your theory he's like noble. Am I understanding that right?
He's not a bad guy either. He's out for himself. He's a bounty hunter. Just because you're a bounty hunter doesn't mean you're bad or good. You can still have morals and values and be a bounty hunter, but you got to do what you got to do. And if you look at Clone Wars, when he was a kid, there was a couple times that he wanted to do the right thing, but he was told not to and couldn't do it by the adults in his life who were his underlings, because he ran the crew. Even though he was the 12-year-old and they were, adults, he still ran the crew. There was a couple times they talked about doing the right thing. So, he was just in it for the money. And you got to think about it. When the Empire, he was working for Vader. If he went against Vader, Vader might be like, okay, fine. All you other bounty hunters, now go get Boba Fett. So he's kind of in, once you start working for Vader, you're kind of screwed. Like you're stuck there, man. You got to do what he says. It's either, it comes down to, you either listen to this person who will eventually find you and kill you because he has all the means in the world. And if he decides to, he'll just put all of his energy into doing it. I mean, look at, we find out in the comic books, even though it's not in the movies, he had Boba Fett trying to get, I got a nice link from Dell the other day, but his account was hacked. I wasn't sure why he was sending it to me. I was like, that's kind of strange that somebody's sending me that. I thought he wanted to start a new Patreon section on there for what he sent me. But, so I mean, it's like, if you have the choice of you're a bounty hunter, you're living on the line of good or bad. You're just kind of doing what you got to do to survive, and you're out for yourself. Or the guild or whatever. It's kind of like saying, I mean, Din Djarin's a bounty hunter, but is he good or is he bad? He's out for himself and the Mandalorian crew.
Okay. Ever since I've just Boba's always my bad guy. So okay. So, but I don't know that. I think you're being a little unfair for our buddy Din. I think that he is. I think he deserves a little bit more credit. No.
I mean,
I think he could stand up to Boba.
Cara Dune whooped his ass.
Nah, it was kind of a tie. But, I mean, you got to get Cara Dune's awesome, though.
She is. She can whoop my ass any day. I'm not going to,
And you would like it.
That's what I'm saying. I'd put up as much of a fight as she wanted me to. But, I mean,
That's gonna be interesting. It'd be interesting if we got to see a little more of the whole Mandalore, whatever I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I like the idea. I like the concept. I don't know. I think I see it going a little differently. I think that the armor is going to have a lot more to do with it than just crafting some pieces of armor. I heard rumor that it was what's her name, Bo-Katan. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do with it. At the same time, I'm kind of hesitant because the list of characters that are rumored to be in there, it seems like that they're pulling out all the stops, and I don't know if they're planning a season 3, or is this just going to be a everyone's spin-off show. So, episode 1, you're going to have this character. Now, hey, you get to watch this character and further adventures on another Disney Plus show. Episode 3, you're going to have another cameo by another, surprise Star Wars guest, and then they're going to have their own show. And, it's just, I don't know exactly how they're going to do it yet. So, my computer just went haywire.
Do we have, I know most of them are not confirmed, but some of them are, have been reported by, Hollywood Reporter or whatever. So, to me, that's a pretty good, that's a pretty good, solid rumor. But what have we heard about the Sabine casting? That's still pretty rumor.
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, but Ahsoka and Bo-Katan and the Jango Fett actor, I can't remember his name. They're all pretty. We're pretty sure that they're a part of it. They're still rumor, but pretty solid rumor, right? Would you all agree?
Yeah,
I agree.
And then who else am I missing?
Sasha Banks.
Sasha
Banks is gonna be there whooping some ass. I mean, think about it. So, whooping some ass.
Yeah, but
I don't know about that.
Sasha Banks is rumored to be
Sabine.
Right? Yeah, but that's not reported by any. That's still pretty much fan casting, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it's all still rumors, but
yeah. Well,
I mean, I just think that I think about that, the way we're introduced to Cara Dune and Din Djarin, they're fighting each other. So the Rebels crew comes in with Ahsoka and Sabine and Rex. If that's how they're going to do it, and they're going to have them be now time. When I say now time, I mean the time in the show. 5 years after Jedi. What a better way to have Sabine and Cara Dune fighting each other. Sabine's one of the best warriors out there. She's one of the top Mandalorian chicks. So why not have her fight Cara Dune? That would be a badass brawl right there.
Well, what do they have to fight about?
Because they don't know each other. They're coming in here, They're coming in. They're coming in hot.
So what is the percentage that Sasha Banks is playing Sabine? Is that a given, or because I really hope not. I hope that Sasha Banks has another, because I really like Sabine in in Rebels, but I really don't like Sasha Banks in WWE. Now I know it's acting. But I don't know. Would love to see her in something else, acting rather than just be a WWE superstar, because I really don't like the character that they portray her as in that, and I have no idea how close that is to. Yeah, can she do physical stuff? Absolutely, she's a wrestler, but can she really act? I don't know. I really, and I'm hoping that it's not her, and it will be. She'll be in some sort of other minor role that she can whip somebody in.
I mean, right now it's all speculation, so we don't even know for sure that she's in it. It's just, rumored that she's in it, and then trying to figure out who she's going to be. And it's like, Sabine's supposed to be Mandalorian. Mandalorians aren't white; they're, like brownish, light brown, high yellow. I mean, so, but then again,
I mean, she might look the part, but I'm just talking about acting ability.
I thought Duchess was pretty white. I think they can be whatever as far as skin color.
But Sabine's not supposed to be. Sabine's supposed to not be like white. So, I mean, if she's playing Sabine, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. It's just one of those things that's we don't really know until they come out and say something. Chris, we're losing you, Chris. What? Bye. And Chris is off the show. Okay. So anyway,
get out of here.
Hey, it's better Cubs than Yankees. That's all I can say.
At least you're not like Chuck wearing frickin' scumbag Patriots.
Mm-mm.
Get a little bit of Yankees talk going on here. Get some Yankees folk up in this piece.
My dad's a Yankees fan. Hey,
sure, if you want to.
It's his birthday.
If you want to buy your subscribers, then sure, why not? I mean, that's the Yankee way. Just buy it.
Mr. Cheater Champion hat there. What are you saying? We don't we win all of our games, but we get caught cheating every season.
No proof.
Be interesting to see how they do without Brady. I bet they're still going to be good.
Well, we got Cam Newton.
Congratulations.
Cam Newton can be iffy. I mean, he did win a Super Bowl 5 years ago, but it all depends on what they do. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. We just had our first football player decide not to play because of COVID. He
won't be the last.
No, he's got a. I think he's from Canada, or he's living in Canada right now. He's got a doctorate in medicine, so he didn't
offensive lineman.
He went to medical school. He just never became a doctor, a medical doctor. He's got his, he didn't get a license. He didn't do the residency and all that other crap. So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to be the first thing. So we'll see what happens with that. Gilster, this is whatever you want it to be, man. You want to talk about Star Wars? Talk about some Star Wars. Ask us some questions. Bring something up. They're the ones that are all wearing hats from, cheating teams and teams that can't win games and whatnot. So,
Didn't the Cubs win a World Series since the Yankees have?
Yeah.
That's because the Yankees aren't a steroid-filled team like the Cubs.
What?
Yeah.
Didn't win on that.
Steinbrenner died, and they don't have the bankroll anymore.
Well, I mean, you got those cheating Astros too.
Yeah.
You got cheating Astros. They're just as bad as those Patriots. So, but
Okay, let me.
What are you gonna do?
Here's a topic. Have you all discussed any theories on what the new trilogy is going to be about?
right. Okay. This is the thing. Ryan Johnson is signed up for a series of movies. We don't know that it's going to be a trilogy. Taika Waititi, we know, is doing at least one movie.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there's 3 movies coming out, 23, 25, and 27. In between those years, we have
Avatar,
the Smurfs or whatever they are.
So you're getting at, you don't think it's going to be a trilogy?
It's not going to be a trilogy by the same director. They might be interconnected, but I don't think it's going to be a full trilogy. I think that they will have 3 different directors do 3 different movies, and if those movies do well, then they could possibly get more movies added to it, is what I think.
See, I have thought all along that as soon as they came out and announced that the publishing endeavor was going to be about High Republic, I thought that was just a prelude to what we were going to be getting with the next movies. I thought it had to be High Republic. So it doesn't seem like that theory has any traction, though. But it just makes sense to me. Why are you doing this publishing deal?
It could. I think one of those movies that are coming out will be High Republic centered. I would say it's probably going to be just on me. I'd say probably 20, 23, 25, and then 27. So I'd say the 25 will probably be the High Republic start. I think they're going to have probably, if I was going to guess, the Taika Waititi one will be the first one that's out. I think that's going to be more of a action kind of funny, just very similar to what he did in Thor, just set in a Star Wars world. I think that will lead off. That will get people to separate a little bit from the mainstream Star Wars, then do a High Republic one, and then go from there. Possibly something with I don't know if they're going to go back to the well and do a Resistance type thing or more of a behind the scenes, but we'll see.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Just from a marketing perspective, I'd be shocked if they didn't try to bunch these 3 movies together and interconnect them in some way. Now, whether that means trilogy or whether that means going back to like they'd originally planned, like having single movies all leading up to Avengers Endgame type movie. I don't know, but I have to think that they're not just going to start throwing random movies out, because I don't think they could sell that as well.
Oh no, they've done a really good job with say like Mandalorian. That was just kind of thrown out. I think that they could, as long as it's written well and directed well. But I gotta get my kids in bed. I'll leave you guys with that thought to discuss. Thanks for having me on again, Condor, and I'll catch the rest of it on replay.
Good
All
to see
right,
you.
Charlie. Thanks for stopping by. And you're welcome anytime. But you got really quick. You got Gilster saying Alexander Klaus, a wanted man by bounty hunters and Empire. Will he survive? No. There is Boba Fett next to Darth Vader. I'm not sure where that came from, but he wants brand new characters and a new story. He wants to keep stuff simple. And Galaxy's Edge should be a cartoon, not action, not live action. But I don't know if the Galaxy's Edge should be a cartoon, not live action.
I don't know. That'd be interesting. It's an interesting theory.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the whole thing. It's like, if they're going to do 3 movies, they need, even if you have different directors, you need the same writer. Have the same story going out.
Yes.
But different directors, you can do, you still have the same story. They see it and maybe do it a little bit differently. But you have to have the same writers. So even if, look at what happened. Like, this is something we always talk about. J.J. Abrams made his movie. And then Ryan Johnson came in and made his movie. And they're 2 completely different movies. They don't really go together too well. And then
they don't mesh at all. Yeah, I hope they.
Then you have the Rise of Skywalker, and all of a sudden it's like, we don't like what's going on. We're going to bring JJ back to do this movie, because we know they probably said Ryan Johnson. Well, they're not even wanting to do it. He was probably like, I can't do it in that much time. I need 3 years to do the movie, because he takes forever to do his movies. He was probably like, nope, 2 years not enough time. I need 4 years to. It took him 4 years, I think, to do The Last Jedi. So, like, it was like, okay, we need someone that's done it before. We need someone that kind of, fits in and knows how everything can go. And we'll see, we'll get JJ in there. And JJ's like, well, all right, here we go. Well, he didn't have enough time to do the movie because they brought him in too late. And he did the best, he did the best he could with what he had. I keep saying that if you didn't like the movies, you can't blame the directors or the writer. It's Lucasfilm's fault or Disney's fault, because they didn't have a plan, or it wasn't planned out well enough, or they didn't, they didn't implement it well enough. Because you can see no consistency. Really, if you look down into it and you dissect it, yeah, there is, but just on the surface, there's really nothing goes together. They don't mesh together. You can get rid of the best Star Wars movie that's ever been made, which is The Last Jedi, and just do 7 and 9, and it kind of goes together better than 8 in there. But that's not really what you want to do. So I don't see them doing something like that, where you're going to have, again, a trilogy and have 3 different directors. But then again, if they have all the same writers, it could be okay. But we know Taika Waititi's directing a movie. He's also writing his own movie. So unless he's going to do the trilogy, but we already know Ryan Johnson's working on something. So from what they told us, they're not going to do any more trilogies. They're going to do standalone movies or one-offs. But
and then you've got the I'm blanking on names tonight. The Marvel producer that's producing a project, a Star Wars project at some point too. So there's that.
Feige.
Kevin Feige, yeah. So I was going off of what Gilster was saying about brand new characters and new story. This guy right here, this has always intrigued me. This guy, you remember this sketch?
Yeah, man.
That's Lawrence Fishburne. That's who that is. And that's what we need. Look, it's him. It's him.
Well, that's the thing too. So it's like at Celebration, they told us that, you know, the High Republic was going to be a multimedia, whatever, and you know, but it was going to be heavily with books and everything. You know, it was going to be literary, but in multimedia. And me not being that well schooled in whatever, when they said multimedia, I took that as, you know, even though it was going to be very literary heavy, it was going to be a lot of books and comic books and multimedia. We're going to have movies and TV shows and video games. No, they meant multimedia as in books and comic books, because that's two different things. Well, technically, yeah, but you know, a lot of other people didn't see it that way. So,
I think surely they were going to announce the future. Like that, to me, when I remember the very first time when I heard that there was going to be a Star Wars celebration this year, I thought that's kind of random because there's no movie this year. What are they celebrating? You know, I know we've got the 40th anniversary of Empire, but there was going to be a future of Star Wars panel, and they were going to announce the next several years of movies and different Star Wars stories in different formats. I had a feeling that's what was going to happen, and it sucks. We're going to miss that now. So who knows? I mean, this whole getting the movies pushed back, it could have changed everything for all we know. So who knows?
I mean, now here's something else I was thinking about while you were saying that. So they know a couple months ago that they're going to have to push the movies back. Maybe they're moving the books back 6 months so that the movies, you know, that first movie that was going to come out in 2022, maybe that was going to be tied into the Republic or the High Republic. And they didn't want to, you know, stretch it out that long. So that's why they bumped back the books, because maybe they're going to be related. And the way that the books are going to come out are going to lead up, you know, for the next 2 years. And then they don't want to have a year gap in there. I mean, that's just, you know, completely going off of what you're saying and going on there. So, I mean, that's a possibility too. They haven't told us, you know, we don't know who's writing what movie, what's coming out when. We just know that Taika Waititi said he's working on it or has to work on it. So, I mean, it's all just crazy right now, and we're not getting any information. We're getting information from leaks because Disney's not telling us. Lucasfilm isn't telling us anything. And
why don't they just tell us? Just tell us what's going on, so we can get excited about something. That drives me nuts.
But I mean, look what happens. You know, they say we're going to do something, and they don't do it, and then we get upset with them and talk about what a shit show it is. But you know, that's also when when they say, "Oh, guess what? We're having Obi-Wan Kenobi show. It's going to be on Disney Plus. The scripts are all written."
Right.
Well, they didn't write any scripts. I don't think they had any scripts written. I think she was just saying that to get us excited. You know, there's people that think, oh, well, the story was too similar. Kenobi was too similar to The Mandalorian, so they had to rewrite the whole thing. They didn't want to have the two same stories. Dude, they knew they had, if the scripts were written at Celebration, they knew what the scripts were. They had them in their hand. They already knew what it was. You know, The Mandalorian, they were still filming it. They were still working on it. Whether or not they were filming it, I don't really know. You know, but everything was still a rough cut. So, like, it doesn't take till The Mandalorian comes out for them to realize, oh, we have the same thing going on here. Like, you know, they like we were saying earlier, you know, this cartoon, The Bad Batch, that's coming out next year, they knew about it. You know, they probably had it all planned out and ready to go way before they announced it. You know, it's probably almost done. If it's coming out next spring, which it's rumored to be in the spring, I mean, it's probably done already. So, they've known about it for however long. It takes them, a couple of years to figure stuff out.
Yeah. Very true.
Trying to, so I don't know. It's all just crazy right now. I'm trying to, oh, damn it, I spelled that wrong. I told you my keyboard doesn't work anymore on my computer, so I have to use, I have to type with a mouse. And that is horrible. I've been trying to type for the last 5 minutes, and it's not good. But so I don't know, dude. It's just, everything's just, people then say, well, they're not telling us anything because people are leaking stuff. Well, if we were getting information, even a little bit, people wouldn't be dying for these leaks anymore. If they would say, like, yes, I understand the Baby Yoda thing, big surprise. I think that was actually a bigger surprise than I Am Your Father. And at least had a bigger impact on society as a whole than that. Dude, everybody talked about Baby Yoda. People that don't like Star Wars talk about Baby Yoda. My girlfriend, who doesn't watch Star Wars and won't, wants nothing to do with Star Wars, likes Baby Yoda.
Also, everybody knows I'm Your Father.
Eventually, everybody learned it because, but at the time, it wasn't a big deal. I Am Your Father wasn't going to sell anything. Didn't get people that wanted nothing to do with Star Wars, to get into Star Wars. There's people that are only watching The Mandalorian for Baby Yoda. They don't care about Star Wars. They don't care about anything else. I Am Your Father did not fill the theaters for Jedi, for people to find out. It wasn't, if there would have been a Twitter back there, it would have been trending, but it would have been trending as much. It would have been trending with everybody. It wouldn't be housewives talking about it and things like that. So I got a Baby Yoda pillow pal for Danielle for her birthday because Delilah had a Chewbacca pillow pal that she would snuggle with. She's been on the show with it a few times, and people have seen her snuggling with it. It was like her stuffed animal, even though it's the size, bigger than she is. Danielle stole it because it's the perfect. If she puts it behind the pillow, it gives the pillow the perfect arc or whatever for her neck or whatever it is. So Danielle stole it. So I had to buy Danielle a pillow pal or something for her. It was for her birthday. I got her a Baby Yoda pillow pal so Delilah could have her pillow pal back. And she loves her Baby Yoda pillow pal. And she could care less about Star Wars.
Which one?
Delilah loves Star Wars.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, we talk Star Wars all the time, you guys. I think that Boba Fett is the best guy in the world. Even though he's a zombie now, because he got eaten by a Sarlacc. Okay, boo boo, you go to bed. Okay, Dad, bye. But yeah, so Danielle's now got a huge Baby Yoda pillow pal, and she loves it. And Delilah has her Chewbacca little choo-choo pillow pal back. But
and all is right in the Condon house, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's good. I'm glad to hear
that.
So Homer spoiled it. That is exactly what I thought. That's the It was Family Guy though. All right.
No, it was that was an episode of The Simpsons.
Okay. All right. My bad.
I mean, it might have been both. I don't know. They might have done it on Family Guy, but yeah, that was one of the Simpsons episodes. That Homer they're doing obviously a flashback.
Yeah.
And they're doing a flashback, and Homer walks out and with Marge and says that Darth Vader was Luke's father, or something like that, and so.
Yep, and that's why your Baby Yoda theory stands. Homer didn't.
No, I mean, for the story, it might not. I think for the story, I Am Your Father was more important, but for the impact it's had on society and bringing people into Star Wars that would have never watched it, I think that's what your big difference is. Like when it comes to it, but
got it.
Gilster saying it was a different time back then. Yeah, but I don't know. Did you just? I don't know. I got the 10-inch Baby Yoda, and it was on the table after the Bacta tank, and I usually get yelled at for not cleaning up my stuff. After I record, but sometimes the Bacta tank, it depends. The Bacta tank sometimes 2 hours, it's sometimes 4 hours. So it all depends on how much merch I have to open and whatever. Sometimes the boxes get thrown out and the merch just kind of gets put on the table. I woke up the next morning and Baby Yoda was moved on the table with the award on top of it, turned on for when I woke up in the morning. I was like, that's weird. She's like, and she was like, she told me that she liked Baby Yoda, and I was like, okay. We'll have to see what happens with that, how that goes. Like I said, we've been together for a lot of years. I don't know, going on 9 years maybe, and we just watched our first Star Wars movie together, which was Solo a couple months ago. I had to pick something I knew that she'd watch and find enjoyable, and I was like, well, Solo is probably the most fun out of the movies, and you don't need to really know anything else about the movies because they're all, everything you need to know is kind of right there. Where if you get to other movies, I'm gonna have to answer questions, and if I'm gonna start with the saga, I'm gonna start at number 1 with her, and then it's like, is she gonna want to sit there and watch and talk about trade routes and everything and whatever? But we might get a winner there with some of the costumes in Padme. So, we'll have to see. But yeah, we made a deal. I don't know why she made this deal with me, because I like musicals and I watch musicals. I was in theater in high school, and like stage crew and this shit. And she's like, I want you to watch Newsies with me. I'll watch a Star Wars movie with you. And I was like, okay. I'd watch it anyways. And even if she would have just been like, this is what we're watching, I'd have been like, okay. I would be on the computer doing something or trying to do whatever. But so then I started, I'm like, wait a second, you want to make a deal with me? Okay, fine. So I'll watch a movie I was already going to watch with you if you would have asked me to. But now you got to watch Star Wars and 2 Mandalorians with me. That was the deal. She said, okay.
So speaking of, whatever happened to Hamilton Night on the septic tank? Did that ever happen?
No. Are you disappointed?
Most definitely, man. Hamilton's awesome.
I was gonna everybody was there were some issues, and then I hadn't watched it yet. I was supposed to watch it with her first, and we didn't watch it, and I didn't want to watch it for the first time while
Understand.
talking to you guys because I just feel like this the whole time.
We could have a sing-along. Make sure your holocron boys are here that night.
Yeah, they haven't been around too much recently. They one of them went away last week, so there was no show, and then it's that time. But yeah, we had a good time. But see, once I get that computer back, man, so like I got lots of plans. Like I talked about the Patreon. Did you get your stim pack? How the fuck does Mr. Rez, who lives the furthest away out of everybody that gets a mail to them, gets his first?
I've been checking my mailbox every day.
Well, I mailed them on Thursday, and they all said they were going to be delivered by Monday.
Monday.
And I was like, okay, and I just didn't know because, like, you're not that far away. I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of mail being delivered from here to, like, I don't know where it gets dropped, Louisville, and then goes from there off or whatever. But
yeah, well, once it hits Louisville, they all are on horseback out of Louisville, so that could have something to do with it.
That might be it. Okay. Yeah. And then after the horses meet the donkeys, and then they go up the hills to.
But yeah,
it's like, I mean, rural farm boy. They they got to go from New York to Pittsburgh, and then he's so a day for. So I mean, I don't know. I figured some of them would have shown up today. Not Rez though. Rez got his already, and he's they can't even. There's so much marijuana smoke out where he is. They can't even. It's all cloudy all the time.
Miss Rez needs to be on here, and he needs to do an unboxing of all of that.
He said no. I invited him to come on. I asked him if he wanted to come on, and he said nope.
He hasn't gotten enough pressure yet.
Well, I mean,
hey, this is, by the way, the time of the show where he's starting to beg for what's in the boxes. So, what's in your boxes, Mr. Rez?
Yeah, Mr. Rez. You want to do what's in the box? What's in the box? Fix your camera so it's just on your hands, so you don't got to look at your ugly ass mug that you don't show on here. That's why you won't come on. And just post it out of the box, dude. What's in the box, Rez? What's in the box? What's in the box? I know what's in the box, you son of a bitch. Let us see it now.
It's all pictures.
Sorry, Dan. I got a little carried away.
It's all pictures of her. That's why.
There might be some Delilah stuff in there.
There better be. You teased it.
There's I don't know. There's a little bit of everything. But Mr. Rez, you gonna come on? You got other Patreons, other patrons that are upset on their birthday. It is his birthday.
Yep.
Oh man, it's his birthday, and he wants to know what's in the box.
It's actually past midnight, but it's not past midnight where you live, Mr. Rez. Technically, it's still my birthday there.
Yeah. What's in the box?
Box.
Mr. Rez says it's an awesome pack. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, whatever.
Mr. Rez ain't gonna spoil shit. What I did learn though is, I don't know if you saw my post. I had something that I had to put a sealant on or something like that, and it melted it because I was like, oh, I'll just use this one that I have underneath the sink, and it was to like if you paint pottery, it was like a sealant to put on the pottery after you paint it so that you can put it outside and it doesn't, whatever. It melted this. So luckily I buy in bulk. And I went and got something else to take care of it. But this thing won't fit in a regular envelope. Well, it would, but it would make the envelope a little bit misshaped. So I was like, I probably can't put it in a regular envelope. I went and got some bubble envelopes. And I got a scale. People got scales. That's what we do in New York. Nothing to think about there. And I put on the scale. It's 1.9 ounces. One of them was actually 2 ounces because I gave somebody an extra couple things. But you'll never know who that is. And I was like, okay. Put them in the bubble envelopes. So this item that melted, part of it melted when I tried to use the sealant on there. Can't go through the envelope sorter or whatever. I'm like, 70 cents to mail these envelopes out with this merch. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Nope. Bubble envelopes don't count as envelopes. They count as packages. They're parcels. Yeah. So I got hit with that. Like, you know what? You sons of bitches. So I learned a lot about the mailing system.
And suddenly, all of your Patreon money has gone to postage. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the postage is on there, but it went from 70 cents to $4, which, I mean, yeah, it's $3, but when you're mailing out 6 things, that's $20 extra. That could have been used for computers, but no, it goes for you for postage. So,
man. So
but now I know for next time, and it's like, okay,
septic tanks from now on out.
Yeah, so now I can't eat, you sons of bitches. I mean, yeah. So there was I thought it was a little bit of everything. I got some other stuff set aside because I've already told you guys I'm going to be throwing the tiers on there on the Patreon. So nobody's losing anything. I'm actually going to start putting some more. Probably put a little bit more stuff on there, and maybe not as much, on the regular. But like the that book I got yesterday. If you guys saw on Twitter, I posted just a quick little preview of it, like a 1-minute video or whatever it was. I'm gonna go through that, and I think I should be able to do that in a reasonable amount of time. I'm gonna throw that up on the Patreon feed for the patrons, and then after it's been on there for a while, and then I think probably after it's been on there for a while, I haven't decided if I'm gonna like that one. I'll probably then put on like the regular feed. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like how to actually work that one out. Like, do I just leave the Patreon, the stuff I put on Patreon, leave it on Patreon? Or do I end up putting it on like regular YouTube? Or does it depend on what it is? Like this, this book will just be a fun little book. I should be able to get it done in one, or I might break it up into 2 or 3 after I go through and see, how long it's going to be, and put out, one a week for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And because it's not really a big special like book, anything really important or whatever, throw those up on YouTube for everybody else afterwards. But the patrons get it first. But like this book that's still fucking sitting here, and I can't believe Danielle hasn't killed me for it yet. Like this book that we have here. do this as a Patreon one. And I got to figure out how long it's going to take, but you know, it's 600 pages long.
Yeah.
Even if I do, like, depending, I got to figure out how they last. You know, if I put one up every week for, you know, like 10 pages, that's a year's worth of videos, you know, that you're going to get. And that's kind of a special book, so maybe not put that on for regular, you know, YouTube.
I mean, as far as just my own personal feelings about Patreon, the reason that I do Patreon for the things that I do is not because I'm in it for all of the goodies and all of the perks. It's because I'm getting something from this already. I'm being entertained, or in this situation, we've got this community kind of, and I feel guilty about just taking it all and not get. So here's $2 a month, so I don't feel as guilty for providing all of this to me for free. That's
Well, so I mean, this is what it's going to be. There's going to be a $2 tier, and you know, it's just it's a $2 tier. You pay $2, and I thank you for being a Patreon. You know, whatever. There's a $5 tier. It's going to be, you know, kind of like the same thing. There's going to be a $10 tier. The $10 tier is going to get the stim packs every 6 months. You know, kind of like what just went out now for the patrons. There's going to be a $20 tier, and that's going to be like the T-shirt tier, where you're going to get an exclusive T-shirt every 6 months. These are all tiers that this is all money that people are already paying. There's somebody that pay, you know, and when I say somebody, it might be more than one person. You know, there's a $2, somebody pays $2, or somebody that pays $5, or somebody pays $10, there's somebody who pays $20. You know, like I said earlier, I'm going to do like $1,000 tier. You know,
that's
why not?
The Mr.
Why not? $1,000? Yeah, I'm going to fly that person. It's their choice, either Galaxy's Edge at Disney, or Galaxy's Edge or in Florida, or Galaxy's Edge in California. I'm going to pay for their plane ticket, not first class, just regular plane ticket. You know, round trip, 3-day pass at Galaxy's Edge, 3 days for the hotel, and you get to hang out with me for those 3 days. After 6 months, we go and we do it. Man.
All right.
I mean, it's never going to happen, but you know, you got to have it on there for something. You know, you got to have some fun with it. But yeah, so you know, and then the you know, it's hard because usually when people start a Patreon, it's like, here are the perks, come join. With me, I'm already doing stuff, so it's like, you know, what am I supposed to really do? You know, I'm gonna maybe roll back a little bit of the free stuff. I mean, I'm still, you know, if you look at it, I put out, you know, almost 20. I stream almost 20 times a month. With my computer being broken, it's down quite a bit. It's down to I think like 12 or 14. But you know, that's what I'm doing. So you know, you're still gonna get, without paying, you're still gonna get the Bacta tank. You're still gonna get the septic tank. Once I go back to work, I don't know about the septic tank. The septic tank might, you know, might start now. Might start at 12 o'clock Eastern time. Or I might have to do it Saturday morning, or you know, figure something out. Or it might just be every now and then. You know, and then you're gonna get, you know, a Holocron house here and there, or whatever else. There's, you know, my video games, and throw a little bit more in for the patrons to, you know, thank you for your money. Let you get a little more free videos that everybody else doesn't have to get. But you know, we'll see. Who knows? it's it's just it's the same thing people are doing now anyway. So it's doesn't really. I don't know. It's how it's going to be now. So I don't know what Mr. Rez. I don't know. Oh, Mr. Rez is paying me for services rendered. Mm-hmm. Come on,
Dang it! I'm missing out on a lot. Obviously,
I got stuff melted in my back room. Got to get a hazmat suit on. Call the fire department to fumigate. Mr. Rez gets it. It's all good. Yeah. So I mean, there's still a lot of Star Wars stuff. Oh, we didn't talk about the book yet. I didn't go into the book. We always got to do a book.
Yeah, that's the book.
He's got another book that I was thinking about buying. Just so we got something to talk about.
We should all give this man money.
I don't want to give him money. I'm going to try and find it used on Amazon. So he's already got his money. Somebody else gets their money back for it. But all right. This one has to be good, okay? 7 huge ways the Jedi cause their own downfall. He can't mess this one up.
I don't know. He's starting out with a high number.
So let's see. Palpatine did a masterful job of manipulating everyone from the Trade Federation to the Galactic Senate to the Jedi and to giving him exactly what he needed to fulfill his quest for ultimate power. He left nothing to chance and carefully put all those pieces into place to attain his goals before the Jedi even knew what was happening. The Jedi, unfortunately, weren't quite as forward-thinking and made a number of mistakes that collectively led to their near extinction. In fact, the more mistakes they made, the harder it became for them to keep up as events progressed and led to even more mistakes. Hindsight is 50-50. So while Yoda was laying on his deathbed and saw all 900 years of his life flashing before his eyes, he probably realized he should have handled some things and the following choices differently. Okay. I agree with him. I have to say I agree with him. It's one of the first times I've agreed with him with whatever he's got to say. Let's see what kind of bullshit reasons he gives. Because I think there's been 2 or 3 out of this whole book so far that have been kind of right. Not entire things, but like just answers. But all right, let's see what we got here. Not preparing Leia to fight the Sith.
Not preparing what?
Leia to fight the Sith.
What? Not preparing Leia to fight the Sith. That's how that led to the downfall of the Jedi?
Yeah. Well, hang on. We're going to read about it. I think it's a horrible answer because, well, let's just see what he has to say first.
Uh-huh.
One of the big plot points of the original trilogy was Yoda's assertion that Luke was not their last hope. And there was another, Skywalker, they could turn to if Luke failed. That obviously turned out to be his twin sister, Leia. But luckily for her, Luke was able to get the job done on his own, and they never had to rely on her to save the day. This is a good thing, too, since Obi-Wan and Yoda had put exactly 0 effort into preparing Leia in the event of the Luke thing fell through. If they thought Luke was going to run off and get himself killed by confronting Vader too soon, shouldn't they have gotten the ball rolling on their backup plan a little sooner? Okay, I can understand them not wanting to start training either of them until events forced their hand. But by the time the Empire captured Leia and Luke left Tatooine with Obi-Wan, the chips were pretty much down at that point. They didn't need to, and probably wouldn't tell Leia who she really was either. But once they knew the wheels had been set into motion, there was no reason to not get them both started in that case. In fact, there's a crazy idea.
Why not train both of them at the same time and then send them both after Vader? Nah, that would have made too much sense.
I don't know. That's so
Um,
much. No, it does not lead to the downfall of the Jedi. The Jedi had already downfallen since at that point.
Yep.
That's your biggest.
So that's a garbage reason. And we didn't know Luke and Leia were brother and sister.
I don't know. And then, I mean, Yoda and Obi-Wan at that point were kind of just like, okay, you know what? Let's back up and punt and let's see where this all goes before we start our next game plan.
Yeah, so all right.
I don't know.
Garbage answer. He's wrong, completely wrong. Because Luke defeated the Sith. I mean, the Sith were extinct at the end of the Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Palpatine may have been brought back to life years later, but they were extinct at that time because Palpatine did die. All right.
Agree.
Not doing something about Anakin's attitude before it got out of hand. When you get right down to it, being a Jedi is just like any other job. You have functions you need to perform. You have hours you're expected to be on the job. In that case, in the case of the Jedi, it's pretty much the same hours as the Secret Service. And you're expected to carry yourself in a certain way. Anakin Skywalker definitely did not carry himself in that way. He was arrogant, he was hot-headed, and he often acted emotionally instead of rationally. He was defiant, ungrateful, and consistently griped about how he's getting shortchanged by the office. As Obi-Wan put it, his abilities made him arrogant, and the Jedi never did anything to rope him in. Almost like they were worried he'd quit or something if they didn't silver spoon him. If they had, there's a reasonable chance that Palpatine would have been able to subvert him to the dark side. Yeah, I really don't think that is a good answer. Because he was manipulated. Oh, we got somebody new coming in here. Sean Solo 8. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, Gilster invited him. Thanks, Gilster, for bringing somebody in. I'll let you know, Sean, we are doing this book right here, the Star Wars Book of Lists. I'm going to tell you right now, do not buy it. This book is horseshit. This guy's lists are completely fucking asinine. Like, I don't know, like, what he's talking about. Just to give you an example, he was listing the most powerful Force users, and he listed Grievous as one of the most powerful Force users. So, I mean, that just goes to show you. And we're going through his list right now on what brought down the Jedi. His first one was not preparing Leia to fight the Sith. I mean, they weren't actually Sith then. I don't believe, in the original trilogy.
What?
I don't think the word Sith is ever used in the original trilogy.
No.
They weren't Sith, so they can't teach Leia how to fight the Sith if the Sith didn't exist until the prequel trilogy.
They were Sith. They just never used that word.
But, I mean, we didn't know that they were Sith, though. So how can they say, you know, I mean, there was only two of them anyway, so why doesn't it fight Darth Vader, fight, you know, the Emperor? But, all right, so then this one was about Anakin, and yeah, I mean, they tried to, you know, they tried to reel him in and keep him under control, but he was being manipulated, and they knew there was something wrong, and they tried to, you know, watch him, but they're not the military police. They can't throw him in jail. They could have kicked him out of being a Jedi, but you have some other Jedi who are well known and didn't always play by the rules. Qui-Gon, Quinlan Voss, I mean, just the top two that come to mind, you know, and those out of canon. So yeah, I don't think that's not a good answer. Not as bad as some of the other ones, but okay, let's see. Line number 5, lying through their teeth to Luke. I won't belabor this since I wrote a whole chapter about this earlier in the book, but Obi-Wan and Yoda were notoriously stingy with the truth. When they weren't outright lying to him, they were still withholding or badly warping the truth because they were worried about the knowledge of Anakin's betrayal of the Jedi. Okay, once again, nothing to do with the downfall of the Jedi. This is the downfall of the Jedi. The Jedi have already died. The Jedi are already gone. You know, Obi-Wan, at the time, Obi-Wan's the only one that's left that we know of. Yeah, we now know there's some other ones, you know, strewn about that survived Order 66 that are in hiding, but still nothing to do with downfall of the Jedi.
When did Homeboy write this book?
2016.
Sounds recent. So, yeah. Agreed.
So yeah, this is, you know, we've already had Clone Wars out. You know, the Clone Wars are already out and finished by then. You know, it's, I don't know.
I mean, this is prequel stuff. I mean, the prequel stuff that they're not taking into consideration. So,
but this is all to sell books to stupid people that don't know anything about Star Wars. That's what this entire book is. If you don't know anything about Star Wars, you read this book and you're like, oh, okay, now I know a lot about Star Wars. But it's all fucking wrong. Like, that's the whole point. Letting Luke go after Vader alone. How did that... Like, nobody knew the power of Darth Vader possessed better than Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda. So when Luke abruptly decided to quit his training and go rescue his friends, they had to be pretty certain that he was going to his death. But instead of trying to stop him from leaving, they just half-heartedly told him to mind his training. I mean, they, like, once again, they can't stop him. Like, that wasn't the Jedi way. They weren't going to lock him up. Like I said earlier, they could have trained Leia. I covered this a lot more in depth in the Unsolved Mysteries of Star Wars. Is that another book, or is that... I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so that's not a good one either.
no, it's not Disney Air. It is not canon. No, this book is not canon. Or as Sean asked.
Oh, no, yeah, no. This is somebody wrote a book.
It's not even Lucasfilm. It's just a randomly published book.
Yeah, somebody just wrote a book. He's a lifelong Star Wars fan. Basically, he was like a member of the Fandom Menace before there was a Fandom Menace. I haven't been to his site, but a few people have been in here, looked up his site, and they're like, it's just all trashing everything about Star Wars. This whole book is a list of things, and everything's what is wrong with Star Wars. But we just go through it once a week on here and talk about how
terrible it is.
Yeah, like it's just, I don't understand how. Like, I do understand, because people buy this book that don't know anything about Star Wars, or, you know, you buy it for a kid. You know, like, oh, okay. Like, I want someone that knows how to write. We write a book and just contradict everything he says, and then write the real reasons of what happened. But okay. Continuing to play games with Luke even after he found out who Vader really was. See, this has nothing to do with what brought down the Jedi. All right, hang on. This might be a good one, because this is number 2. So we've gone through 4 of them so far. 4 of them have been just trashed. accepting the clone army, knowing that it was created under false pretenses.
Yeah, some bad one.
Well, I mean, they don't know.
Yep.
At the time, they didn't know that it was created under false pretenses. They knew. I mean, we now know, and when this book was written, I don't know if they even knew what the pretenses were. We knew that it was built by a Jedi, or we're told it was built by a Jedi, and we later find out that it wasn't. That Sifo Dyas was killed by Count Dooku, and that Count Dooku went to Kamino to have this built, have the army built, or Palpatine, not sure, but I think it was Dooku. It's in one of the books.
It's in Clone Wars, right?
Could be in Clone Wars. Kurt. I'm not too versed on. There's 100 episodes of them. I kind of remember most of them, but. Well, let's see what this says. The Jedi Council was quite disturbed when Obi-Wan informed them the clone army had been created for them on Kamino. The order was in the name of Sifo Dyas, a Jedi Master who had been dead for a number of years at the time it was placed. Not true. He died at the same time it was placed. That's why the Jedi still believe that he put the order in, but they thought it was kind of fishy that he put it in because they didn't know why and never told anybody. Even if Sifo Dyas had somehow been the one who ordered the army, he didn't have the Jedi Council's authorization to make a move like that and would have done so without their knowledge. Okay, that is a valid point. He did it. If he did do it, he did it without their knowledge, but he didn't do it. Everything about the situation stunk, and Yoda decided to go see the army for himself, while Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, and the rest continued the pursuit of Count Dooku and the Separatists. Whatever Yoda saw in Kamino must have changed his mind because of all of his misgivings were completely gone by the time he showed up to save his comrades with hundreds of clone soldiers. The Jedi would have lost without them. It's pretty uncharacteristic of Yoda to go back. Yoda was apparently willing to sack the conflict of interest away for the time being, but it came back to bite him several years later when Emperor Palpatine issued Order 66. The latent command buried in, okay, we all know what Order 66 is. The vast majority of Jedi, including most of the Council, were gunned down. Okay, we know what Order 66 was. Yeah. The only thing that he says so far in this entire part is that Sifo Dyas did it without the authorization of the council. But if someone in your group does something and it wasn't authorized at the time, it was never authorized.
Especially when they're not part of your group anymore.
Because they're dead. So you can't ask them or question them. And it's like, okay, he has these things built. He has these things made. We didn't authorize it, but we either use them and accept it, or we die. What do you do? Even as a Jedi. The Force must have wielded it to happen for you. Unknowing, like he said in there, Yoda, whatever he said, whatever bullshit about Yoda, it's like somebody did something that they weren't given permission to do, but you think it's going to benefit you at the moment from something that happened 10 years ago. I mean, you're gonna take it. So, I mean, yeah.
Hey, buddy, my computer battery's about to die, so I'm just gonna let it go peacefully here in a second, and I'll hop in the chat. Just letting you know before it goes.
All right. Well, thank you very much for hanging out in the chat.
Yeah, man, it's always a pleasure.
Sean Solo, I'm going to let you know too. Everybody's invited. I mean, we're getting done right now, so there's really no point for you to hop on here. But everybody's invited to come in the chat. So, or hop in the tank. So, next time you come on, I'm always posting the posting. You can come on here and chat with us. Chris King is a very beautiful man. Likes to show us his good looks, his chiseled good looks, and his dad bod. Gilster, thank you for stopping by, man. We will see you later. But you can just leave a regular screen up there, and it doesn't really matter. See, like that, I just put that up there for me, no camera. So you can just do that if you want to just sit up there and talk. That's fine too. But all right, let's finish this off. I think we're about done. Not hunting down the Sith Master after Darth Maul killed Qui-Gon Jinn. After assuming that the Sith had been destroyed for over 1,000 years, a Force-trained warrior with a double-sided lightsaber shows up, picks a fight with two Jedi, kills one, and nearly kills the other before being sliced in half and dumped in a well. In the aftermath of the battle, Yoda and Mace Windu are able to confirm that Darth Maul was indeed a Sith. Yoda reminded Windu that there's always two, a master and an apprentice. Mace Windu wonders which of these two he had killed, or which one of these two was killed, and they don't do a damn thing to follow up for it for nearly a decade.
Only they thought, you know what we should do? Let's go hunt the other one down. That's a great idea. Why didn't they think of that?
Oh, all right.
Oops.
Yeah, and then it just goes on to other crap. Same thing. So yeah, his list is garbage once again. Pretty crappy. Horrible list. The 9 slickest hideouts in the galaxy is going to be next. I think we just lost Chris, but that's okay. Because we told us he was going to be out of here. So, yeah. All right. So now this one, I thought he was going to get this list at least right. There couldn't be anything wrong with it, but this was trash. He got 2 sentences out of the entire list correct. Just that Sifo Dyas did not act with the authority of the council. It's the only thing he got right. So complete garbage again with that list. But the next one, the slickest places to hide out. Dude, how can you get that wrong? I mean, like, that's not even one of his hate things, or whatever is wrong, or whatever it has to be. But yeah, I think Chris is out of here too. We just did our list. We did some talking, a little speculating. Had some friends stop by we haven't seen in a while. Always a good time. There I am, full screen. What? By myself. Hi there. I kind of my head should be down a little lower, I think. I do look good though. Look at that. What's that beautiful glowing light behind me? Oh, that is an award. Because this is an award-winning network. Yes. I think you guys already know. This is the award for the best pod appearance. This isn't the best podcast. I am not the best podcaster. But this is the best podcast show network to come on. That's what the award says. Just saying, it's I was nominated by the Hall Chronicles podcast, and it was voted on by Twitter. And it's one of the only things Twitter has ever gotten right in their life, is giving it to me. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I got a couple things I got to edit tomorrow. I got something I want to record for tomorrow. And then we got the Bacta tank on Monday at 9:30 with special guest Lauren from the Galactic Podcast. All right. I think I'm done. My brain's shot. Yeah, with that, I say good day. May the force be with you.